Hey guys, and welcome back to another recent gaming episode. And this time around, I'm going to be talking about the third and final installment of the Walking Dead Michonne, the Telltale Games mini-series that they've done. Um, and the first thing I want to talk about is how I mentioned in the video for episode 2 that I had some technical issues with the game where it was kind of staggering and lurching along, laggy, kind of whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It was really frustrating and somewhat infuriating in that episode 2 because I think episode 1 I saw a little bit of that, but episode 2 was loaded with it. And then this one, it went about the first third of the game, and then it finally cleared up. It stopped for the most part. So it made things run a little smoother, made things play better, because there were times when I had to make decisions and movements and pick dialogue choices, and that was going on, and sometimes it wasn't registering because it was laggy. I don't know, it was bad, but like I said, it cleared up, and I was able to kind of, enjoy the rest of the game after that. Now, that aside, the story of the game itself and how it wrapped up this little mini series, in my opinion, it was decent. This was probably the best of the three. It had a better payoff, I guess you would say, to the story itself, as well as Michonne's kind of backstory that was being shown. Which in the end, I'm not 100% sure what was going on with it. She kept seeing these flashbacks, and she would have these little weird interactions with these two girls that you would presume were her daughters. I suppose she talked about it, that those were her kids. But you didn't know what was going on, and I was assuming that she had done something to them, that she had either killed them, she missed out on a chance to save them and they died because of her, that she had left them behind for some reason, which is kind of the way it was, I guess. Like I said, it wasn't 100% spelled out, but there was a scene where it would appear as though her and their father had some sort of an issue, and she was leaving. But I don't know if she was leaving him. I don't know if she was leaving to go on a business trip. I don't know exactly what was going on that she had to go, but he wasn't happy about it, and they weren't happy, which led me to believe that there was probably some tension in the house, in the home, between them all, and she left, and it was never it was never divulged whether or not they died or whether or not they were still alive in this world at this time, because she even asked, she had a dialogue option that I selected where she said, "Did you guys make it?" And so it was obvious that she didn't know if her kids were still alive or not, or at least not at the time. Maybe she found out later that they were. Maybe I missed something in there somewhere. But I was left with the idea that she didn't know where the kids were. So I don't know if Michonne moves on to the next season, which is supposed to begin sometime this year. I don't know if Michonne is going to be involved in that at all, or if she'll be relegated to behind, like a background scenery type character, like a lot of the 400 Days DLC characters ended up in season 2, which, I really wanted some of those guys to factor into it more, and the one who got highlighted the most was probably the one that I cared about the least. So Michonne could or could not, maybe will not be a part of the next season, who knows. I just hope that they include this mini-series on a physical copy of the game, particularly for PS4, because I plan on getting all the Walking Dead stuff and Wolf Among Us on PS4. So it'd be nice if at some point this is included on something physical as well. I don't know that would make any difference, as far as my technical issues were concerned. It's just that I'm hoping that maybe it was just because it was the 360 version, and if I get it for PS4, maybe it'll be better. But yeah, overall, I would say if the game was devoid of those technical issues, I would still call it probably a middle-of-the-road style game. I don't know, like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 if you want to give it a score. Whereas the first 2 seasons were up in that like 8 or 9. It was definitely my most it was to me the most disappointing of all the Walking Dead stuff that Telltale has done so far. But it was still worth playing. It was still worth checking out. Maybe I felt like you know for $15 I should have got more out of it than what I did. But if nothing else, I feel like I should have gotten more out of it because it was Telltale. And now, I've complained about this before. And I wonder if maybe this was the way that it was, in my opinion, disappointing because of how I feel Telltale Games is kind of stretching themselves thin right now. For a long time there, it was just The Walking Dead, and the previous games that they had done before it were done, consecutively and not at the same time. All of a sudden, they got really, really big, and they did Walking Dead, and that was a super hit, and Wolf Among Us was really good. And then next thing you know, they've got Game of Thrones, Tales from the Borderlands, Minecraft Story Mode. They've got an upcoming Batman thing, which if you want to know, I have no interest in any of these other things that they have done besides Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us. Even Batman is not important enough to me to want to see Telltale's version of it. I own Game of Thrones digitally on Steam only because I won it for free. And I thought, well, if I ever get around to watching this series, I'll play the game. But I don't like Borderlands at all. I can't even imagine how the Minecraft thing would go. And I just really can't see Batman working in this. I've tried to play Back to the Future a little bit, and it's been kind of shoddy. I've heard that their Jurassic Park game wasn't all that great. So I just wonder if this felt lightweight in comparison to the other Walking Dead stuff because they've spread themselves so thin, and now they're probably putting little teams of people on other little things. And I hope that's not going to be the case for them, because if the quality suffers, people are going to forget about Telltale games. They'll always remember Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us and whatever games they loved. I've heard Tales from the Borderlands is supposed to be really good, and I just don't give a shit about it. But they could end up really messing things up for themselves, and this feels like the first chink in the armor. So, we'll see though. Anyway, those are my thoughts on The Walking Dead, Michonne, Episode 3, What We Deserve, and the series as a whole. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.